Okay, hello everyone. So I can't seem to find this anywhere on the internet, and so therefore I'm just going to make a video of it myself, but I'm really just referencing Tony's video, okay? Tony has multiple channels, but the one we're referencing here is his channel God Rules 2 hyphen Sons of Thunder, okay? He also has God Rules, obviously. He's got Sales Daddy 1 and a few others. So Tony, I want to thank you, and I hope you're not mad that I am referencing your work. I hope you take it as a compliment. Okay, so we're going to make this big, and I'm just going to play this. It's like maybe like a minute and a half long, so let's just see if I can get all this in this shot here. Okay, here we go.
And again, that was back in August 2017.
This is regarding Revelation 12.
Once in 7,000 years.
Verse 1 and verse 3.
We have another extremely rare constellation happening, and this isn't even the full thing.
Maybe I need to go
There's
slow.
actually more to this than what's shown here even. You had Jupiter in retrograde. You had the moon at her feet. This literally relates directly to Rev, of course, 12. And there was far more to this than people realized. We discovered it later that on top of that, you had the great red dragon right here with 7 heads and 10 horns. The horns happens to be the same word for tail. There's 10 stars in the tail. There's 7 stars in the head. There's a crown of 7 stars right here. That is also part of the text. Notice the name of the crown. It's the whole thing. There's a beer named after it as well. It's a Borealis constellation, as you can see here. This is called Serpentis. In the text, you can see it literally says this as well. All of this was in the stars in 2017, telling you what's going to happen in 2020, folks. The whole thing. And again, all 3 lines are shown. And this happened only one other time in history, by the way. It happened at the birth, of course, of the King of Kings.
Okay, so we're just going to stop there, and I'm going to go backwards. It's basically from like 13 and a half minutes to about 15 minutes of his video. Okay, now a lot of people have covered verse 1, where it talks about the woman with the stars over her head and the moon below her feet. There's a lot of videos and a lot of just links on the internet that cover verse 1, but no one seems to be covering verse 3 except Tony, okay? So, you got the constellation of Leo above Virgo's head, and between the quote-unquote stars and the planets, it's 12. The sun is by her head, the moon is below her feet. Jupiter keeps moving back and forth in the womb for 9 months, okay? So that fulfills verse 1, okay? And then as he said, let's play this again.
2017. Once in 7,000 years, we have another extremely rare constellation happening, and this isn't even the full thing. There's actually more to this than what's shown here even. You had Jupiter in retrograde.
So at her feet.
You had the moon at her feet. This literally relates directly
is the dragon,
to Rev,
verse
of course,
3.
12. And there was far more to this than people realized. We discovered it later that on top of that, you had the great red dragon right here with 7 heads and 10 horns. The horns happens to be the same word for tail. There's 10 stars in the tail. There's 7 stars in the head. There's a crown of 7 stars right here.
Okay, so let's stop right there, okay? So I'm going to try to zoom in here as best I can with my phone, okay? So at Virgo's feet, at the woman's feet, with, okay, you've got this constellation of a snake or serpent or dragon, right? So it could eat the baby when the baby's born, okay? And the number of stars all match up with Scripture. And as he just told us, the word in the original language for horn is the same as tail, and the number of stars in the tail line up. And then above the head of this serpent, you have the other constellation that has an association, or looks like, or is in the shape of, or in the configuration of a crown. Okay, so this happened back on September 23rd, 2017. Okay, so I'm making this video because I don't see anyone else covering all 4 of these constellations. You've got Virgo, you've got Leo, you've got the, whatever this is called, I don't want to say the word, something Borealis constellation or whatever, and I think he said that this one here is called Serpetus or something. Okay, so you've got 4 constellations. Verse 1 is about Virgo and Leo, and verse 2 is about Serpetus and this crown looking one over here. Okay, and that configuration does not happen except apparently once in every 7,000 years or something, and the last time it happened was when Christ was born. It happened September 23rd, 2017, so it is a sign that we are in the end time tribulation period, and I'm using that as a term, and I'm making that a distinction between that term and the 7-year tribulation. So the end time tribulation period contains the 7-year tribulation period. I believe the 7-year tribulation period began a few years after when this configuration happened. This happened in 2017, but I believe it was a sign, like a heads up of, okay, we're heading into the end time tribulation period, okay, which is basically the fig tree generation, the roundabout, roughly last, decade, give or take, okay. And I know that there's going to be sticklers that say, well, 10 years would be 2027. No, the end is Rosh Hashanah, Feast of Trumpets, 2028, okay? But if you go to my tribulation period timeline, it explains all that, it shows all that. And bottom line, you got to go to the Lord and seek the personal revelation and comprehension yourself, okay? But I just thought I would, make this video referencing what Tony is showing here, because I don't even know where he got this image from. I can't seem to find anything, and I have a subscriber emailing me right now asking me about this. So iron sharpens iron. It's good when you guys email me questions because it gives me the motivation to dig into things deeper. So I'm making this. Please do like the video. Please do share the video. My channel is shadow banned and censored quite a bit. So please do like it and share it and copy and paste it in other places. But this is what happened. This is, let me put the light on here. Revelation 12. Now a great sign appeared in the heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a garland of 12 stars. Then being with child, she cried out in labor and in pain to give birth. Verse 3, and another sign appeared in heaven. Behold, a great fiery red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 diadems on his heads. Okay. That was fulfilled September 23rd, 2017. Okay. I'm going to post this, and then I'm going to paste the link to this video that I'm creating right now, that I'm recording right now. I'm going to paste this into my Tribulation Timeline Excel sheet and update that on my Google Drive if you want to go and download that. So in the description box of this video, I will put Tony's video for your reference. I'm also going to put a link to Parable of the Vineyard is a channel, and they did a video that I just found on this topic, although he doesn't address verse 3, he only addresses verse 1, and he did it before September 23rd, 2017. But he references a lot of cross-reference passages in the Bible, and it's a really good reference, so I'm going to put that below, and I will put the link to my Google Drive document of the End Times Tribulation Period timeline. I will put that in the description box below as well as my email address. You're always welcome to reach out with curious questions in the comments or via email. All right, I bless you all in the name of Yeshua, the Christ of Nazareth.